Dr. Sarah Chen stood motionless before the massive quantum array, watching as impossible data scrolled across her holographic display. The signal was like nothing humanity had ever encountered. A vast, organized pattern of quantum fluctuations crossing the void between stars. After 15 years of scanning the cosmos for signs of intelligent life, they'd finally found something. She just wished it didn't look so much like a battle plan. Director Matthews needs to see this immediately, she said to her assistant, Dr. Patel, who was already reaching for the secure comm line. The quantum detection facility, buried deep beneath the Australian outback, had been built for exactly this purpose, providing humanity with early warning of any approaching alien civilizations. But no one had truly expected to find anything, let alone something this massive. The next 48 hours passed in a blur of emergency meetings and frantic data analysis. Military leaders and civilian scientists from around the world converged on the facility, their usual rivalries forgotten in the face of what the quantum array had revealed. An alien fleet, vast beyond comprehension, was moving through the space between stars using technology that manipulated quantum fields in ways human science had barely theorized possible. The fleet will reach our solar system in approximately 6 months, Sarah explained to the gathered leaders, her voice steady despite the weight of the moment. Based on their energy signatures, we're looking at over 300 vessels, each one larger than anything humanity has ever constructed. The room erupted in worried murmurs, but Sarah wasn't finished. However, there's something else you need to see. She gestured, and a new set of data appeared in the air. The quantum fluctuations they're using for propulsion. They're remarkably similar to the theoretical work we've been doing here. Director Matthews stepped forward, his weathered face grave. Dr. Chen, are you suggesting what I think you are? Yes, sir. Project Nightweaver isn't just possible. We've been accidentally reverse engineering alien technology for the past decade, and we may have already surpassed them in some areas. The revelation hit the room like a physical force. Project Nightweaver had been the facility's most closely guarded secret, an experimental attempt to manipulate quantum fields for faster-than-light travel. Most of the scientific community considered it impossible, but Sarah and her team had achieved breakthrough after breakthrough, even if they didn't fully understand why their equations worked. General Laura Santos of the United Earth Defense Force was the first to recover. How quickly can you weaponize it? Sarah met the general's eyes. That's just it. We already have. The quantum field manipulation we've developed doesn't just allow for FTL travel. It can be used to create localized space-time distortions, generate energy shields that exist in multiple quantum states simultaneously, and project forces that ignore conventional physics entirely. And you're certain we're ahead of them in this technology? The question came from Admiral Chen, no relation, of the Chinese Space Force. Based on the quantum signatures we're detecting, yes, their technology appears to be more refined, but also more rigid. They're using quantum fields like we use radio waves, for communication and propulsion. We've been exploring the fundamental nature of quantum reality itself. The implications weren't lost on anyone in the room. Humanity had 6 months to prepare for first contact with an overwhelmingly superior alien force, but they had an ace up their sleeve that the aliens couldn't possibly expect. Director Matthews straightened his shoulders. Dr. Chen, you have unlimited resources and complete authority. I want a working prototype ready before that fleet enters our solar system. Sarah nodded, her mind already racing with calculations and possibilities. Sir, I'll need every quantum physicist and engineer we can trust, and we'll need to accelerate the construction of the testing facility on Europa. You'll have whatever you need. Humanity's survival may depend on it. As the leaders filed out to begin their preparations, Sarah turned back to her quantum array. The alien fleet continued its inexorable advance, each quantum pulse bringing them closer to Earth. But for the first time since detecting the signal, she felt something other than dread. They were coming with technology they'd mastered over centuries or millennia. But humanity had done what it did best, taken an impossible problem and found an entirely new way to solve it. "Dr. Patel," she called out, "get me the Nightweaver research team. All of them. We have work to do." The next months were a blur of activity as humanity prepared for its greatest challenge. While the world's governments quietly mobilized, Sarah and her team worked tirelessly in their underground facility. The prototype quantum drive took shape, each component pushing the boundaries of known physics. The first test nearly ended in disaster when a quantum field fluctuation briefly connected their lab to 3 different parallel universes simultaneously. The second test was more successful, though it did temporarily turn a cubic meter of air into a new form of matter that existed in 5 spatial dimensions. But by the 4th month, they had it. A stable quantum drive capable of not just faster than light travel, but of manipulating the very fabric of reality in ways that made conventional weapons seem like stone tools in comparison. "The Starcaster is ready for final integration," Sarah reported to the Emergency Council. The massive ship, constructed in secret on Europa, represented humanity's ultimate achievement, and perhaps its last hope. "But there's something else you need to know." She pulled up the latest data from the quantum array. "The alien fleet's quantum signatures have changed. They're not just approaching anymore. They're preparing for war. Whatever their intentions were initially, they know we're here, and they're not coming in peace." General Santos leaned forward. "How much time do we have?" "They'll reach Pluto's orbit in 26 days. After that," Sarah let the implications hang in the air. "Then we have 25 days to prepare our welcome," the general replied, her expression grim but determined. "Dr. Chen, is the Starcaster ready for combat?" Sarah thought of all the tests, all the simulations, all the theories yet unproven. "It's ready. But what we've built, it's not just a weapon. It's something entirely new, something that will change everything." As she looked around the room at humanity's leaders, Sarah saw her own mix of fear and determination reflected in their eyes. In less than a month, they would face an alien armada with technology centuries ahead of Earth's conventional capabilities. But conventional had never been humanity's strong suit. The quantum array continued its silent vigil, tracking the approaching fleet. But now, deep beneath the Australian desert, and in a hidden base on Europa, humanity prepared its response. The aliens were coming with mastered technology. Earth would meet them with innovation, determination, and a fundamental understanding of quantum reality that would reshape the galaxy itself. The die was cast. The final countdown had begun. Europa's subsurface ocean churned with artificial activity. Through the kilometers-thick ice sheet, massive quantum-powered drills had carved out humanity's most ambitious construction project. The Starcaster hung suspended in its liquid cradle, its hull reflecting the pale blue emergency lights in ways that seemed to defy conventional physics. Commander Maya Rodriguez stood at the vessel's main viewport, watching as teams of engineers made their final adjustments. After 20 years in the Earth Space Force, she'd thought nothing could surprise her anymore. The Starcaster had proved her wrong. Final quantum core calibration complete. Dr. Chen's voice came through the ship's comm system. "All field generators are showing green." Maya touched the viewport's surface, feeling the subtle vibration of power flowing through the ship. "How are we looking on the tactical systems?" "The quantum point defense grid is online. Offensive capabilities." Sarah paused, and Maya could hear the mix of pride and concern in her voice. "Well, they're unlike anything we've ever tested. The theoretical models suggest we could literally rewrite local spacetime." The commander turned away from the viewport, making her way through corridors that seemed to shift and change as the quantum fields fluctuated. The bridge of the Starcaster was unlike any conventional spacecraft command center. Instead of traditional controls and displays, quantum-entangled interfaces responded directly to the crew's thoughts and intentions. "Status report," Maya called out as she entered. Her hand-picked ridge crew, the best of every space force on Earth, worked at their stations with practiced efficiency. "Long-range quantum sensors are tracking the alien fleet," Lieutenant Zhao reported from the sensor station. They've passed Neptune's orbit. Estimated arrival at Earth in 72 hours. Dr. Chen entered the bridge, her tablet displaying a cascade of quantum calculations. "Commander, there's something you need to see." She brought up a holographic display in the center of the bridge. "We've decoded more of their quantum communications. They call themselves the Axiom Collective." The display showed images compiled from the quantum data, massive crystalline beings that seemed to exist partially in higher dimensions. Their ships weren't just vessels. They were extensions of their consciousness, powered by quantum technology they'd evolved with over millions of years. They consider themselves the ultimate expression of intelligent life. Sarah continued. Their message wasn't just a demand for surrender. It was an announcement of our obsolescence. They don't even consider us truly conscious beings. Maya's expression hardened. Then they're in for one hell of a surprise. Status of the crew. All personnel are aboard and at stations, her XO, Commander James Chen, reported. The quantum integration training is complete. Everyone's adapting to the neural interfaces better than expected. The Starcaster represented humanity's greatest achievement, a vessel that blended conventional technology with quantum manipulation in ways even its creators didn't fully understand. Its crew had been training for months, learning to operate systems that responded to thought and intention as much as physical input. Message from Earth Command. Lieutenant Park announced from communications. The alien fleet has begun broadcasting again. There, she hesitated, her face pale. They're offering to preserve samples of humanity in their quantum archives before they reconfigure our planet. Maya felt the anger ripple through her crew. It was one thing to face extinction. It was another to be treated as specimens by beings that didn't even consider you truly alive. "Power up the quantum drive," she ordered. "It's time to show them exactly how conscious humanity can be." The Starcaster's systems hummed to life, quantum fields rippling through its structure. Unlike conventional spacecraft, it didn't just move through space. It manipulated the fundamental forces of reality itself. The massive chamber housing the vessel began to drain, ice walls retracting to reveal a launch tunnel that led straight up through Europa's frozen surface. "All stations report ready," Commander Chen announced. "Quantum core is stable at 87% capacity." Maya took her position in the command chair, feeling the neural interface link her consciousness directly to the ship's systems. Around her, her crew did the same, becoming one with the most advanced vessel humanity had ever created. "Send word to Earth Command," she ordered. "The Starcaster is launching. We'll intercept the alien fleet before they reach Mars orbit." The quantum drive engaged, and reality itself seemed to bend around the ship. Through the neural interface, Maya could feel the vessel's power, not just its conventional systems, but its ability to manipulate quantum fields in ways that made traditional physics seem like a child's toy. As they accelerated away from Europa, the ship's sensors detected the alien fleet's reaction. Their quantum signatures shifted, suggesting surprise and possibly concern at the unexpected energy readings. "They're scanning us," Sarah reported from her station. "Their quantum signatures just spiked. I think we actually scared them." Maya allowed herself a grim smile. "Good. Lieutenant Park, open a channel. Let's introduce ourselves properly." The Starcaster rose through space like a predator, its quantum fields distorting light in ways that made it seem to flicker between dimensions. The alien fleet lay ahead, their massive ships spreading out in a battle formation that had probably conquered countless civilizations. But they had never encountered humanity before. They had never faced a species that could take their own technology and transform it into something entirely new in less than a decade. As the Starcaster approached the fleet, its quantum systems humming with power, Maya thought about all the civilizations that had probably faced the Axiom Collective before. How many had surrendered? How many had fought with conventional weapons and been destroyed? "Ready quantum weapons," she ordered. "Let's show them exactly what consciousness can achieve when it's pushed to the edge." The battle for humanity's future was about to begin, and Maya intended to make it one the Axiom Collective would never forget, assuming they survived to remember it at all. The void between Mars and Jupiter erupted with quantum distortions as the Starcaster made its presence known. The Axiom Collective's fleet, a constellation of crystalline vessels that dwarfed anything humanity had built before today, shifted their formation in response to this unexpected threat. They're adapting their quantum fields, Sarah reported, her hands dancing over the neural interface controls. Their energy signatures suggest they're trying to analyze our technology. Commander Rodriguez watched through both conventional view screens and quantum sensors as the alien fleet approached. Their ships were beautiful in a terrifying way, like perfectly formed crystals that somehow existed in more dimensions than the human eye could process. Multiple quantum signatures detected, Lieutenant Zhou called out. They're charging weapons. The first attack came not as conventional energy weapons, but as a wave of quantum disruption designed to tear apart the fabric of spacetime itself. It was the kind of attack that would have annihilated any normal vessel instantly. But the Starcaster wasn't normal. Quantum shield holding, Commander Chen reported, a note of surprise in his voice despite their simulations. The multi-dimensional field dispersion is working exactly as Dr. Chen predicted. Through the neural interface, Maya could feel the attack washing over their shields like waves breaking against a cliff. The Axiom Collective had mastered quantum technology over millions of years, but they'd never imagined someone could use it quite like this. Return fire, Maya ordered. Show them what innovation looks like. The Starcaster's quantum weapons activated, not attacking the alien ships directly but altering the fundamental forces around them. Space itself seemed to twist and fold, creating localized paradoxes that their crystalline structures couldn't adapt to fast enough. 3 of the smaller alien vessels shattered, their perfect forms unable to maintain cohesion as reality itself rebelled against them. The rest of the fleet recoiled, their quantum signatures radiating patterns that Sarah's algorithms interpreted as shock. They're broadcasting again, Lieutenant Park announced. Multiple frequencies. I think they're trying to communicate directly with our quantum systems. Maya nodded. Put it through, but maintain shields at maximum. The message came not in words, but in pure quantum information, translated by the ship's systems into something human minds could comprehend. The aliens' surprise was evident. They couldn't understand how primitive beings had developed quantum technology that could challenge their own. Send them our response, Maya ordered. Let them know exactly who they're dealing with. The Starcaster transmitted its own quantum message, a demonstration of humanity's understanding of not just quantum mechanics, but the very nature of consciousness and reality itself. The alien fleet's reaction was immediate and dramatic. Their quantum signatures are fluctuating wildly, Sarah reported. I think we just shattered every assumption they had about us. But the Axiom Collective hadn't conquered countless worlds by accepting defeat easily. Their fleet regrouped, forming new patterns that their quantum sensors warned were far more dangerous than the first attack. Multiple quantum ruptures forming, Zhao warned. They're attempting to create a cascade failure in local spacetime. Maya felt the danger through her neural link. The aliens were trying to create a quantum singularity that would tear apart everything within half an AU. It was the kind of attack that showed they now considered humanity a genuine threat. Activate the quantum countermeasure, she ordered. Execute Protocol Prometheus. Sarah's eyes widened. Commander, we haven't tested that in actual combat conditions. The calculations suggest. It's our best chance. Maya cut her off. Do it. The Starcaster's quantum core pulsed with power as it initiated humanity's most ambitious weapon. Instead of fighting the aliens' quantum manipulation, it added its own calculations to theirs, subtly altering their equations in ways their rigid, crystalline minds couldn't detect until it was too late. The cascade failure they'd initiated began to wrap back on itself, creating a quantum feedback loop that threatened to overwhelm their own ship's systems. The alien fleet broke formation, their perfect coordination shattered by the unexpected complexity of human quantum mathematics. Their primary vessels are retreating, Chen reported. Secondary units are attempting to maintain the attack, but their quantum cohesion is failing. Through the neural interface, Maya could feel the tide of battle shifting. The Axiom Collective had expected to find simple beings using borrowed technology. Instead, they'd found a species that could take their basic quantum principles and transform them into something entirely new. Message from the alien flagship, Park announced. They're requesting a cessation of hostilities for philosophical discussion. A smile crossed Maya's face. Tell them we'll be happy to discuss philosophy, consciousness, and the nature of reality itself, just as soon as they withdraw their fleet beyond Neptune's orbit. The battle had been won, but Maya knew this was just the beginning. The Axiom Collective wouldn't give up easily, but they'd learned something vital today. Humanity wasn't just another primitive species to be preserved and reconfigured. As the alien fleet retreated, leaving their damaged ships behind, Sarah's quantum sensors detected new patterns in their communications. "Commander," she said, her voice filled with wonder, "I think we just forced them to update their entire philosophical framework. They're transmitting new quantum theorems to their entire civilization." "Good," Maya replied. "Let's hope they're quick learners, because next time we won't just be defending Earth. We'll be showing them exactly what humanity can do when we put our minds to it." The Starcaster hung in space, its quantum fields rippling with power, a testament to human ingenuity and determination. The first battle had been won, but the real challenge, teaching an ancient, crystalline civilization that consciousness came in many forms, was just beginning. The quantum sensors aboard the Starcaster painted a troubling picture. While the initial battle had forced the Axiom Collective to retreat, their fleet wasn't withdrawing. Instead, they were regrouping, their crystalline ships arranging themselves in new patterns that radiated complexity on both physical and quantum levels. "They're adapting," Sarah reported, studying the readings with growing concern. "The quantum signatures suggest they're rewriting their own base code. They're evolving." Commander Rodriguez watched the tactical display as hundreds of alien vessels shifted and changed, their crystalline structures becoming more intricate, more capable of handling the quantum chaos humanity had introduced to their ordered universe. "Multiple quantum surges detected," Lieutenant Zhao announced. "They're attempting to establish a higher dimensional lattice structure." Through the neural interface, Maya could feel the change in the space around them. The Axiom Collective wasn't just preparing for another battle. They were attempting to reshape local reality itself to better suit their crystalline nature. "Dr. Chen," Maya called out, "what exactly are we looking at?" Sarah's hands moved through the quantum interface, manipulating data streams that existed in multiple dimensions simultaneously. "They're trying to impose their version of order on our spacetime. If they succeed, our quantum advantages will be neutralized." "How long?" "Hours, maybe less. They're working on a fundamental level we barely understand." Maya felt the weight of command pressing down on her. The Starcaster represented humanity's greatest achievement, but even it had limits. They couldn't match the Collective's raw power or their millions of years of experience. But humanity had something they didn't: the ability to think beyond established patterns. "New transmission from Earth Command," Lieutenant Park reported. "The quantum disruptions are affecting planetary systems. Communications, power grids, even fundamental physical constants are becoming unstable." The Collective's attempt to remake reality was already reaching Earth. If they succeeded, humanity wouldn't just lose the battle, they would lose their very nature, forced to exist in a crystalline order that denied the chaos and creativity that made them human. "Dr. Chen," Maya said, an idea forming in her mind, "you said their quantum technology is based on order, on perfect patterns." "Yes. Their entire civilization is built on mathematical precision. It's why our chaotic approach shocked them so badly." "And what happens to perfect patterns when you introduce too many variables?" Sarah's eyes widened as she understood. they shatter. But Commander, if we try that at this scale, we either succeed or we lose everything anyway. Maya straightened in her command chair. All hands, battle stations. Prepare for protocol Dionysus. The name sent a ripple of nervous energy through the bridge. Protocol Dionysus was theoretical, a last resort option that would push their quantum technology far beyond its tested limits. It had been inspired by the myth of the god of chaos and rebirth, fitting given what they were about to attempt. Divert all power to the quantum core, Maya ordered. Prepare to initiate total field dissolution. The Starcaster's systems hummed as power built in its quantum core. Unlike the collective's precise, ordered energy patterns, the ship began generating waves of pure quantum chaos, mathematical noise that contained every possibility simultaneously. They're responding, Zhao reported. Their lattice structure is accelerating. The space between the Starcaster and the alien fleet began to warp and twist as two fundamental approaches to quantum manipulation clashed. The collective sought to impose perfect order. Humanity answered with controlled chaos. Multiple quantum breaches detected, Chen called out. Reality stability dropping below safe levels. Maya felt the strain through her neural link as the ship fought against forces that threatened to tear it apart. Push it further. Let's show them what chaos really means. The Starcaster's quantum core reached critical levels, pumping out waves of probability that defied the very mathematics the collective relied on. Their perfect lattice began to show signs of strain as it encountered possibilities it couldn't compute. Their primary vessels are showing quantum fractures, Sarah reported, her voice tense with concentration. The lattice is becoming unstable. Through the quantum sensors, Maya watched as the impossible happened. The collective's attempt to remake reality began to backfire as human-generated chaos introduced too many variables for their crystalline minds to process. Ships began to break apart, not from conventional damage, but from fundamental mathematical contradictions that their ordered nature couldn't resolve. The quantum lattice they'd been building collapsed in on itself, taking several of their largest vessels with it. Message from the collective, Park announced, surprise evident in her voice. They're asking how we did that. They want to understand. Maya allowed herself a small smile. Send them our response. Some questions don't have perfect answers. That's what makes them worth asking. The remaining alien ships withdrew, their quantum signatures radiating patterns that suggested both fear and fascination. They had encountered something they'd never imagined, a species that could take their ordered universe and turn it into something gloriously unpredictable. As the quantum disturbances began to fade, Sarah's sensors detected new patterns in the collective's communications. Commander, she said, I think we just taught them something about the value of imperfection. Good, Maya replied. Because if they want to understand humanity, that's lesson one. The Starcaster's quantum core slowly powered down as the immediate crisis passed. But Maya knew this wasn't over. They had shown the collective something that challenged their entire worldview. That chaos and creativity could be just as powerful as perfect order. The real question was, what would an ancient crystalline civilization do with that knowledge? In the aftermath of the quantum battle, Earth's solar system hummed with new possibilities. The Starcaster hung in high Earth orbit, its quantum fields rippling gently as it monitored the extraordinary changes taking place at the edge of the solar system. The Axiom Collective hadn't left, but they weren't preparing for another attack either. Instead, their crystalline ships had arranged themselves in a new pattern, one that Sarah's quantum analysis suggested represented something unprecedented in their million-year history: uncertainty. They're still transmitting, Lieutenant Park reported from her station. The quantum signatures are different, more complex, less rigid. Commander Rodriguez studied the tactical display, watching as the alien fleet continued its unusual behavior. Some ships had begun experimenting with irregular crystalline structures, their perfect symmetry giving way to more organic patterns. Dr. Chen, Maya called out, what exactly are we looking at? Sarah's hands moved through the quantum interface, her expression one of wonder. "They're evolving, Commander, but not like before. They're not just adapting their technology. They're changing their fundamental nature. The chaos we introduced, it's affecting their entire civilization." Through the neural interface, Maya could sense the transformation. The collective's rigid quantum patterns were becoming more fluid, more dynamic. They were learning to embrace imperfection, and it was changing them in ways none of them had anticipated. "New transmission," Park announced. "They're requesting dialogue, but not just communication. They want to establish a quantum bridge." Maya felt her crew's tension. A quantum bridge would link their consciousnesses directly, allowing for true understanding between species. It was also incredibly dangerous. A trick or trap could destroy them instantly. "Dr. Chen, your analysis." Sarah studied the quantum signatures carefully. "The patterns are genuine. They're not trying to attack or subsume us. I think they genuinely want to learn." Maya took a deep breath. This was the moment that would define humanity's future among the stars. Establish the bridge, but maintain quantum shields at ready. The connection formed slowly, carefully, both sides approaching with equal parts curiosity and caution. When the bridge stabilized, the exchange wasn't just of information, it was of understanding. The collective shared their history, millions of years of perfect order, of expansion based on the assumption that their crystalline consciousness was the universe's ultimate achievement. They had encountered countless species, preserved their essential patterns, and moved on, never considering that consciousness could exist in forms they hadn't imagined. In return, humanity shared their chaos, their creativity, their constant drive to challenge and change and grow. Through the quantum bridge, the collective experienced something entirely new: the beauty of imperfection. "Their quantum signatures are stabilizing," Sarah reported, wonder in her voice. "But not into their old patterns. They're creating something new, a synthesis of order and chaos." The bridge carried emotions now: appreciation, respect, and something like regret from the collective. They had come to impose their version of perfection on humanity. Instead, humanity had shown them a different kind of perfection: the perfect balance between order and chaos. "They're proposing an alliance," Park translated from the quantum signals. "Not domination, not preservation. True cooperation between species." Through the neural interface, Maya felt the sincerity of the offer. The collective had evolved more in their brief encounter with humanity than they had in millennia of existence. They wanted to learn more, to understand how a species so young could see possibilities they had never imagined. "Send our response," Maya ordered. "Tell them humanity accepts their offer, not as subjects, but as equals. We have as much to learn from their order as they do from our chaos." The quantum bridge carried humanity's answer to the waiting fleet. The response was immediate: a surge of quantum patterns that translated into pure joy, a sensation the collective had never experienced before their encounter with human unpredictability. As the sun rose over Earth, casting golden light across the Starcaster's quantum-shifted hull, Maya watched the tactical display transform from a battle map into something new: a blueprint for cooperation between crystalline order and human chaos. "Message from Earth Command," Park announced. "They're requesting our presence at the preliminary alliance negotiations. The collective has agreed to send representatives in non-military vessels." Sarah's quantum sensors detected the changes already spreading through the alien fleet. "Commander, look at this. They're not just accepting change. They're embracing it. Their ships are incorporating elements of randomness into their crystalline structures. They're becoming beautiful." Maya smiled. Humanity had faced extinction and instead achieved something far greater. They had taught an ancient civilization how to grow again. The quantum technology that had brought the collective to Earth as conquerors would now serve as a bridge between species, a way to share the best of both their natures. "Take us into orbit," she ordered. "It's time to help shape a new era, not just for humanity, but for all conscious beings." The Starcaster glided through space, its quantum fields now harmonizing with rather than opposing the collective signatures. Behind it, Earth shone blue and green, a testament to the beauty of organic chaos. Ahead, crystalline ships sparkled with new patterns, order and randomness dancing together in the light of a star that would now shine on a future neither species could have imagined alone. The age of isolation was over. The age of synthesis had begun.